तो अभी पॉज कैसे देखो?
नहीं, यहाँ से कैंसिल हो गया।
ऐसे
ठीक है, तो अपना के यहाँ प्रोग्राम होगा तो यहाँ पे तो होना
बाद
चाहिए।
में आप इधर आके जब लोग आए ऑलरेडी लाइव
बच्चे वो विंडोज बंद करो सारे क्विकली गुड मॉर्निंग ऑल ऑफ यू प्लीज पे अटेंशन व्हाट आई एम सेइंग Somebody please come on the podium and help for college prayer. Quickly, please. नहीं ये बंद नहीं चली भी ना ये बंद है। अगर मुझे मालूम है और करते हैं लेकिन बंद है। So let it be. Let this be.
ये तो 23 मिनट का हो गया।
चालू होएगा ना तो ऐसे घुमाने का, ऐसा करने का, वैसा करने का, सब करने का। आप इधर ही रहना चाहोगे। अभी ये लोग लाइटिंग करेंगे तो ऐसा घुमा लेगा, फिर ये लोग इधर रखेंगे तो ऐसा घुमा लेगा। पास है तो मैं एक कुर्सी अरेंज कर सकती हूँ बैठने के लिए।
मैडम ये चालू है।
अभी ऑडियंस
इधर देखो।
That's good. I've given it to you.
Good morning, everyone. Kindly be seated.
Sir, there is a chair for you. It's okay, I'll sit there, I'll sit back. Sir, sit down, please sit. I'll sit there.
very good morning to one and all present here. Film is both an art form and a tool for social change. Films can offer a different perspective on the lives of people in other societies, providing insights into the lives and cultures of other people. Films can educate us about other societies and that are very different from our own. They don't just reflect our culture, they change it. Films are mirrors of society, and movies are essential to society because they reflect culture, change culture, and spur economic growth. Movies reflect a culture in so many ways. Movies also change a culture by influencing the beliefs, opinions, and behaviors of the people who see them. For example, a documentary about child abuse may move you to take action against child abuse in your community, whether by volunteering for an organization or donating money. This is how films change the world. Films promote economic growth by creating jobs for thousands of people from all walks of life and generating billions of rupees. Digital filmmaking has opened up greater possibilities and opportunities for filmmakers than ever before, and technology has changed the way in which movies are made. Today we have more flexible digital cameras and editing softwares that have made a cinematographer's and editor's job easier and made it possible for filmmakers to produce quality films at much less cost. Digital filmmaking is accessible, it's relatively low cost and user-friendly and reaches a wide audience. This 3-day workshop on digital filmmaking gives students the all-round filmmaking experience necessary to make your own films. Coming to filmmaking in Sindhi language, a handful of Sindhis are trying very hard to preserve their culture and language as its very existence is in danger. The going is not easy as the Sindhi film industry strives hard to find its place in the regional cinema space in India. While Sindhis are having a not so easy time making films in their own language, there are many who have taken talents to Bollywood. The list of Sindhis in Bollywood is long and transcends vocations. This 3 days workshop is going to take you into new domains of filmmaking and would enable you to make your own educational films, not just in Sindhi, but in the language that you want. We have with us today an illuminary, but before I talk about her, let me invite all the dignitaries to light the lamp. Thank you, please settle down. Digital filmmaking is often closely associated with favorite book came to a theatre near you. Going from page to screen is not so easy. But yes, this workshop will make it so. Today is the second day of the workshop and we have an author amongst us. She's written a book and we will soon more of it. I extend you all a very hearty and a warm welcome to this momentous occasion of the launch of the book Tryst with Koki by the esteemed author Dr. Subhadra Anand. Let me introduce Mamji. The more you hear about her from me, the more you realize her life is so rich with experiences. Dr. Subhadra Anand was born in Hyderabad, Sindh in 1947. She came from Karachi to Bombay in 1948 and stayed in the Chempu refugee camp before moving to New Delhi. She joined RD National College, Bombay in 1971 as a lecturer in history. Her long innings as a professor saw her retire in 2007 after 7 years as a principal of the college. She then served as the CEO for Save the Children India. Subhadra Ma'am's doctoral thesis, National Integration of Sindhis, published in 1995, remains a seminal book. She is now focusing her attention on Jhulelal Tirth Dham, a cultural complex in Narayan Sarovar in Kutch, that will house a museum and an amphitheatre alongside an already constructed Jhulelal temple. Tryst with Koki is her first novel. It is a work of fiction based on factual information derived from the author's well-researched book National Integration of Sindhis. The story revolves around the Advani family whose lives in Karachi are drastically altered due to the partition of India. They go from residing in the upscale Clifton locality to living in the impoverished Ulhasnagar camp. The narrative primarily follows the experiences of an 18-year-old Sheila Advani who faces unimaginable challenges. The story also sheds light on other family members, one of whom takes on a menial job while other becomes a lawyer. Despite their struggles, the family perseveres through hard work and resilience. The book aims to resonate with Sindhis who have to leave their homeland and establish new lives around the world, showcasing the indomitable spirit of the Sindhi community. The book draws a symbolic connection between Sheila's survival and forbearance and the stash of Kokis she carries with her, a Sindhi flatbread made with ghee, chilies, onions and coriander. Koki represents the powerhouse of energy that Sheila embodies. The story narrates her journey filled with extreme emotions, successes and losses. A true tryst with Koki. Let me invite Dr. Balani to felicitate this wonderful author before I move ahead with reading of the chapters of the book. Welcome to this college DTC, ma'am. We truly appreciate the efforts that you've taken to bring this book out.
उसको इधर ले इसमें इसको कहाँ लूँगा बुक्स पे अच्छा बुक्स पे फोकस कर लो
Thank you, ma'am, for gracing this occasion and bringing this book to us. Thank you, sir. We also have with us Mrs. K.S. Jyoti Gandhi, who is an associate of Dr. Subhadra Anand and helps her with all the work that she does. We have Ms. Aarti Sachdev. I request her to felicitate Ms. K.S. Jyoti Gandhi, ma'am. Can we please have a hearty round of applause for our guests today? Ms. Varta Kushlani, ma'am. Thank you for being with us this day. Ms. Varta is a poet, screenwriter, lyricist, and an award winner. Ms. Shobha Lalchandani ma'am, who is the editor of Hindvasi, a Sindhi newspaper. Thank you ma'am for being with us this morning. Thank you Mr. Sushil Gajwani sir, a creative filmmaker who we well know and a person with prolific ideas. Thank you so much sir for this 3-day workshop on digital filmmaking. We also have today a research scholar who assists Dr. Anand. I'm so sorry for this. Miss Vandana Govindan. Sir, kindly please. Vandana. Thank you, Miss Sapna. Thank you, sir. One of the most exciting things about seeing a movie based on a book is watching how the story unfolds on the big screen. But have you ever wondered how your favorite novel makes its way from the bookshelf to the theatre? The process of turning an original story into a screenplay adaptation is both an art and a science. Books can make a huge impact if converted into a film. Let us witness a book reading session of Tryst with Koki. May I invite on stage? So you have the mic there. Here we go. Before we move on to the chapter reading from Tryst with Koki, let me invite Dr. Palani to speak to the audience.
इधर से आया जाएगा ना.
Good morning to one and all. Honorable Madam Subhadra Anand, I have been following you since 2004 onwards. I remember from my debut at Koki Training College. And in the same year, I joined as a professor also. And I remember the movie that you have made on our beloved founding father Vidyasagar Singh Gutani. And movie has really impacted the psyche of each and every person who is associated with the Hyderabad National Collegiate Home. And many more stories are there which we keep on hearing from our trustees, from Kishu sir and whomsoever we meet about the dedicated work that has been done by our founding fathers, especially came to Nadi Advani also, Barrister Advani ji. So I'm really humbled to walk under the edges of Hyderabad National College Board, and the way we have been serving the society is amazing. And the motto of the Hyderabad National College Board is to educate as many as persons we can. So on these lines, Bombay Teachers Training College, we produce teachers. We give training to the teachers. Now we want to give a message to the teachers. If you see, as far as the human civilizations are concerned, they have been evolving from time to time. And in the history of every civilization, we have witnessed that the civilization has experienced a lot of turmoils in their paths. And Sindhi community was also strangled as far as this independence movement was concerned. And what has happened, we all have witnessed. We do not want to accuse any of we can say, the reason, the people who are involved, maybe the politicians, maybe the freedom fighters. Things are happening and will happen in the future also. Let us take the example of Manipur, what is happening in Manipur. So, even the communities which are living in Manipur, either that side or the other side, they are also facing a lot of troubles over there. There may be numerous reasons for this. We should not go into this. But what I want to tell you all, we want to make students educate, the teachers educate, rather than getting into, as far as caste, creed, religion is concerned. We need to create the citizens who think globally, who think rationally, who really care for the human rights of human beings. And that's what BTTC is known for. So once you are a teacher, and every child who is present in your classroom is not a child, belonging to any caste, creed, religion. We have to forget everything. We are going to give training to the teachers. I believe that so many lessons will be learned today from the book that has been authored by Dr. Subhadra Anand. Now, if you look at the contents of the book, which I was really reading from the internet, because I do not have the copy today. I believe that I must get it for me and for my library also. So similar stories I could recall as a child, when my grandpa used to tell me the stories. I won't take much of your time, but I would like to tell you Balani. My grandpa used to say to me that there were 36 villages of Balanis which were there in Sindh, and all of them migrated from Sindh. And we had a huge fields and many more. We had a dairy business which my grandpa continued over here when he came to Gujarat in Bandwa. Now, in claim, he was not educated. He was given a document by the Gujarat government, whereas we were allotted 90 acres of land. So, but as far as the actual position of the land is concerned, we never got it. My grandpa fought for it, then my father fought for it, and in 2016 my father passed away. And now since last 7 years, we have been following this in the High Court, and High Court has passed an order favoring that the government of Gujarat shall give 90 acres of the land, and we are the legal heads of our grandpa. But still we haven't got our rights. So these are some of the stories. Similar stories must be there in the book. The struggles of Sindhis, to establish themselves. I think this will continue. And not taking much of your time, let us learn from the book. I am thankful to Dr. Subhadra Anand. She is kind enough to favor Bombay Teachers Training College, BTDC family, for coming herself, coming here and sharing her first-hand experiences. What came in her mind, when she started writing the book, what was going on in her mind, and what message she wants to give to the teaching community. So we are looking forward to learn a lot from interaction with you. I'm also thankful your associates, your research scholar, Sushil Garwani ji, Dr. Shobha Lalchandani ji, Madam Shobha Lalchandani ji, editor, Hindwasi, and Barka Kushrani ji, for always supporting Sindhi events that has been organized by Bombay Teachers Training College. I welcome you all. Let us put our thoughts together. Let us work the welfare of the community. Let us create global teachers. Let us think, start, thinking rationally, socially, emotionally, and ethically. Not taking much of your time, please invite Dr. Subhadra Anand ji for book reading. Thank you.
I'm sure, ma'am, you would enjoy somebody else reading the book chapter for you. Sushil sir, please, for the book reading session. Inviting Mr. Sushil Gajwani sir, creative filmmaker. You've already been with him for a day and you know how much passionate he is. Ms. Farah Kirawala, a faculty at BTTC, a research scholar, and a person who has an enthusiastic attitude and one who exudes positive energy. I also invite Mrs. Barka Kushrani, a poet, a screenwriter, a lyricist, and an award-winning author. Over to you. Hello.
हाँ ओके मैम ये जूम होता है नहीं है इसमें जूम नहीं होता इसमें फीचर नहीं होता यूट्यूब में जूम नहीं होता कैसा
टेबल को मिडिल नहीं करना है ना ये बता दो छोटी वाली
मेरा कैमरा देखो
नहीं नहीं सर उन्होंने बुक्स रखनी है रखवाया है अपने से they need
Good morning, everybody. You heard a wonderful introduction of Dr. Subarma Anand. I too love her and Koki in that order. But I see lots of non-Sindhis here, so I don't know whether you all know what a Koki is. Do you know what a Koki is? Yes, you're a Sindhi, you know Vandana, you're a scholar too. Okay, for those who do not know what a Koki is, it is like a wheat pancake. What paratha is to Punjabis, what thepla is to Gujaratis, what thali peeth is to Maharashtrians, Koki is to the Sindhis, and Koki tops the list. And Koki is an independent candidate. You can eat it garma garam, straight from the fire into your plate. You can eat it with milk, chai, tuna, pickle, chocolate sauce, Szechuan sauce, chocolate syrup, garma garam doodh, masala milk, and everything. And Koki. Sorry, you say something else? Yeah, of course, curds. Yes, and you can eat it with omelette too. It tastes wonderful if you make a Koki sandwich with omelette. My dad used to eat it. And there is a hidden message about Koki, which I'm sure Dr. Anand had it in mind. That you can eat it with everything. That is the way Sindhis are. That's the way we are made. Sab same milchul ke chalna. So everybody is good. And if I can take one more second, SG, can I share one experience with them? In 2017, I took a trip to Europe with my friends, 4 of us. And they told me carry lots of Kokis. So Shwari, my sister made, she's the best cook in our family. She made about 20-25 Kokis. And we had it under the Eiffel Tower, in the garden of Louvre. Then after Paris, we were going to Italy. So my friend called her from Italy and said, dare you finish the cookies? Bring 2 for me. So I had to hide 2 cookies for her to take them to Italy. That is the magic of Koki. And that is our twist with Koki. That is our twist with Koki. The Sindhis just love it and swear by it. So I'm sorry to take this extra minute. Now we should start the reading. Thank you. And I have explained to Farah what Koki is. Next time you get to eat it.
यहाँ से पूरी फ्रेम आएगी ना
Why don't you turn it, show the audience?
मैं वहाँ बैठ जाऊँगा फिर मैं
Hello. This one is fine.
Now, is it clear? Can you hear me all?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah, good morning again. Welcome to all Dr. Shwazan, Dr. Balani, Dr. Meedu Kocher, and everybody. Tryst with Koki. To start with, this is a very, it's an exceptionally beautiful title. What is tryst? Rendezvous. Lovers meet at a secret place, that's rendezvous, tryst. Now here Dr. Anand gives a title which is exceptionally, enticing, it's beautiful. Tryst with Koki. With that one stroke, she has internationalized the dish called Koki. With this book, it's going to reach all over. Well, let's start reading. As Chandulka left the show, the Advani family saw their home, roots, and land being snatched away from them as a consequence of unfortunate events. Sin was destined to be just a memory. Sin was destined to be just a memory. In their hearts they knew that there was no going back. Bombay would be their new home, but would they ever be able to accept it, call it their own? That was the bleak future that stared at them. 2 days spent on lower back deck with no view of the sea, but depressing, dark and depressing. The turbulent ocean made both Ramesh and Suresh violently sick throughout the journey. It was an ordeal for Sheila to clean up the mess they were making. But taking care of them was another time, an escape from the pain of leaving sin. Whatever time, whatever spare time Sheila had, she went around talking to fellow passengers and assuaging their feelings, even as they were numb and traumatized. Though she could not talk to many due to paucity of time, the ordeal of 3 families she met left her entirely shaken. They were from different regions. The Sharma family in our parts from Chicago. The Sharmas were a big family of 4 sons and 2 daughters. The head of family was Sarmal, his wife was Sabla. Sarla was accompanied by 2 of her sons, Deepak and Suraj. It was a broken family. It was a broken family as 2 daughters and the older son had left for India a couple of months earlier.
Sarla Bhabhi, where is your husband? And why did part of the family leave while you stayed back?
With tears in her eyes, but with utmost composure, the lady willingly shared her ordeal.
We are from Ladakh. My husband was a priest who performed puja and rituals for many families on different occasions. 3rd October was a black day for us. My husband was performing the morning prayers and pouring water on the shivling when a mob came rushing towards the temple with lathis and stones, shouting, Allahu Akbar and Kafir ko maro. And before he could react, the mob showered heavy blows with lathis on him. His skull cracked and
She sobbed. She broke down and sobbed uncontrollably. It was as if the floodgates of bottle of emotions had been opened. Sheila hugged her tightly and let her cry in her embrace. Yes. Shulman Gidwani was a Sessions Court judge in Hyderabad. A man of integrity who was known for his clarity and sharp intellect. Kamla Gidwani was the oldest daughter, a few years older than Sheila, who was traveling with her 70-year-old grandmother, 50-year-old caretaker Kaushalya, and 10-year-old Rani, her sister. Sheila befriended Kamla by offering her yummy koki and pickles, a traditional Sindhi dish was a great way to start a conversation.
Hello, I'm Sheila Advani. We have brought lots of Kokis for the journey. Would you like some?
The grandmother said,
Did I hear the word Koki or am I dreaming? Koki? Kitya Koki?
Yes, Amma, you heard right. This kind lady has offered us some.
her eyes lit up. She greedily accepted the Koki and while munching, started talking incoherently about everything possible under the sun, all connected with their banishment from their beloved center. Kamla had joined Sheila, and they got chatting about their lives. Kamla told Sheila about the tragedy that had befallen the family.
Two Pathans who were acquainted with us told us they had overheard some people talking about the Judge Sahib. They were apparently plotting revenge on my father because he had given an adverse judgment against some people and sent them to jail. They cautioned my father and offered protection. But father thought nothing of himself and his safety and refused any protection, brushing off the so-called revenge as an empty threat. But it was not. Father was butchered with swords and knives right in front of his court. Both the Pathans fought bravely with the assailants and dispersed them. They took my injured father to the hospital, but it was too late.
Mohan Nagpal was taking a walk with Dunish and his 80-year-old father on the upper deck to get some fresh air.
Hello, I'm Sheila Advani. I'm from Karachi. My brothers and mother are with me.
I'm Mohan Nagpal, we are from Chicago. This is my father. As you can see, he's mentally not there. He's still in a state of shock.
Oh, what happened to him? Hope I'm not intruding, but if you would like to talk, I'm a good listener. It will lighten your mind, but if you prefer your privacy, I will let you. Okay?
No, please don't go. I'd like to talk. I haven't spoken to anyone in days. But first, if you don't mind, let me get something to eat for my father. Then I'll sit on the bench and talk to you.
What is he going to eat now?
There's some biscuits, some milk, eggs in. But what choice is there? What choice is there? At least it sustains. It sustains.
Yes, Sheila took this up.
Sheila took this opportunity to bring out her Kokis, her magic Kokis, and offer it to Mohan for his father. He smiled gratefully and told Sheila to give it to his father herself. Sheila took Dunichand's hand and placed a Koki on his hand. He looked in wonder at the Koki and then at Sheila. There was a flicker of recognition and a faint smile crossed his face. He tenderly touched the Koki because it revived many fond memories of Saint. Sheila, Kamla had taken it forward. Dunichan took a hungry bite and had devoured it all in no time. His eyes asked for more. Mohan Nagpal then told us about his father. My father was a big zamindar in Chicago. One night, a mob stormed into our house. That day, father and I had slept in the shop because it had got late and we did not want to venture out in the night. My mother, my grandmother, and my little brother were brutally murdered. Mohan could not go any further. Sheila put a consoling hand on his shoulder. He grabbed it, held it close to his heart, and sobbed hysterically.
As the Jaldurga anchored at Alexandra Dock, the first impression of Bombay was anything but pleasant. The Karachi riots and the heavy influx of Sindhis into Bombay posed a real challenge to the government and the local population. Up to now, the official machinery was working on the assumption that not many people would leave their homes in Pakistan. But they had started. So let's it's okay. But they had started arriving in large numbers. The government of Bombay, under the guidance of the then Premier B.G. Khare, geared up its resources on a war footing. Refugees were to be diverted to the military camp at Ulhasnagar, a place around 40 miles from Bombay.
She was pleasantly surprised to see Lakshman, her father's assistant, who had migrated earlier at the talks. She ran towards him and greeted him warmly. She greeted him very warmly, but his cold response unnerved her. She saw him looking tense.
Lakshman, what's the matter? Are you not happy to see us?
He hung his head and did not look into her eyes. Soon, Madhuri and the boys joined them and affectionately greeted Lakshman. Seeing Madhuri, he burst out crying. Sheila shook him impatiently and shouted.
Lakshman, what has happened?
Advani said no more. He was murdered in the shop. Hearing this, Madhuri collapsed. A naval doctor was called to revive her. The doctor said, please take care of her. In her present condition, she won't be able to hear any more shocks.
What condition are you talking about, doctor? What's wrong with her?
You don't know. Your mother is pregnant. Hearing this, Sheila's head started bleeding. 2 shocks were too much for her. But soon she composed herself, rushed towards her mother and brothers, hugging and consoling them. She took Lakshman aside and, with tears in her eyes, asked a painful question.
Lakshman, what happened to his body? Were proper rites performed?
It seems Mustafa Sahib called a Brahmin Pandit and conducted the cremation. His ashes were immersed in the Indus by Salim.
Thus, the Singh chapter had closed with the death of Prakash, but the Bombay chapter had opened with his child in Madhuri's womb.
Please will proceed, Dr. Subhadraman. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sushil sir, Varkha ma'am and Farah for this lovely session. I'm sure Dr. Subhadra also must have recollected so many different memories while she was penning these lines down. Ma'am, I invite you to share your views and experiences on this session and about the life that you spent so many years of your being an author, being an observer of so many different things. Ma'am, we would like to listen to you. I also invite Varkha ma'am and Sushil sir to accompany ma'am.
Okay, welcome again. Dr. Anand, welcome again to this conversation.
अरे वो माइक बंद कर,
रवि तो इधर ही रुक प्लीज।
वो माइक बंद कर। अभी नहीं होगा, अभी नहीं होगा। माइक बंद कर।
Okay, literature, film, media have their own magic, and all of us know. You remember a lot of films, a lot of books, a lot of stories that you read in your childhood or any time, and you remember them. There are people who come and go, there are people who become popular, stay there for a while, and then just fade away. If you look at any kind of literary work, any kind of film artist, or any kind of artist, a lot of people come and go, they fade away. And there are other people who come in, do remarkable work, get to be known, and stay in hearts and minds of people forever. If they have that body of work today. Today I'm honored to be here on the stage talking to Dr. Subhadra Anand because the first time of course I knew Dr. Subhadra Anand, I never met her. We were making this feature film, this Hindi feature film, The Last Train, Shobha and Barkha Kushani and I were making a film, and we saw an amazing footage on Jhulelal Kirtan. Amazing. And we decided that we must use that footage, some footage of it, in the film. I required permission. I called up Dr. Subhadra Anand, and she was gracious enough, magnanimous enough to give us a permission. And that's how I started talking to Dr. Anand. And then of course this book, Tyrst with Koki, and of course National Integration of Sindhis. She's like Peter Pan, if you know Peter Pan. Come with me and where there's no time and just dream and the world, you're always young and always happy and always boisterous. That's the kind of person she is, whenever you talk to her. So, Dr. Anand, Peter Pan is somewhere close to like Devanand was Peter Pan and Dr. Subhadra Anand. Now, coming to this book, Tyrst with Destiny, as I told you by reading the book, that this is an amazing title. When you say twist with someone, you're actually meeting your lover clandestine. It's a romantic meet and it's like rendezvous with whatever. So tell us, Dr. Anand, how did you think of such a lovely name, Tyrst with Koki? You have romanticized Koki, you made it international, was a book dishes everywhere, and you made Sindhi cuisine all the more popular. How does that happen?
All of you. बटन ऊपर तक नहीं गया शायद.
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, all of you. And I presume now you can hear me. Yeah. Okay. Sushil, answering your question, why this title? Actually, this entire book that I have written has been a series of thought processes which have crossed my mind without really any kind of an intention or any kind of premeditated scenario. It just came from the heart. And when I was thinking of the title for the book, Koki had not even figured in my narrative. The thing was that I was looking at the title and I'd always been fascinated by Jawaharlal Nehru's speech on Independence Day, which said that long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. Now that tryst with destiny and Nehru's speech was something that, stuck to my mind. And this word tryst also stuck to my mind. Of course, tryst means a secret rendezvous, has a romantic thing, but even Nehru said it's a tryst with India. because it was a romance with India. So I wanted this word at least to be in my book, but then tryst with what? I can't say tryst with partition, that's an unhappy thing. I can't say tryst with Sindh because that is the past. No, tryst with what? And that is where suddenly I said tryst with Koki because I was looking at some kind of a word which identifies Sindhis. And that's where I said Koki is the right word. And that's how the title came about. And then Koki became a protagonist, I would say, in the narrative where it just evolved as to how Koki is going to now take grip of the entire family and the further narrative. So that is how the word Koki came about.
This is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. The thing is, Doctor, when I was reading your book, I read it twice to understand it and just to look it. I read two of the autobiographies. Yours is, of course, I think semi-autobiography, if I may say so, because I'll of course come to that. The thing is, I read Andre Agassi, the famous Grand Slam lawn tennis player. He was Steffi Graf when they got married. He wrote an autobiography called, if you are all fans of lawn tennis, he wrote an autobiography called Open. And Devanand wrote an autobiography called Romancing Life. Now these two books and Koki have a lot of things in common. What is it? The language. If you see any American writer, good American writer, they write simple. They never use language or words to show off. So has Devanand done in his Romancing Life. So have you done. Yours is a remarkable kind of language, conversation. I thought you were talking to me. It was so simple, sentences were so short. It was an amazing style. Where did this come from an academic professional, Dr. Subhadra?
Like I said, Sushi, it just came from my heart. And that is, I do everything from my heart. I have no pretenses. I don't believe in falsehood. So it's just that, the narrative also came, and okay, I'm known as an academician, I've done my PhD, I'm a research scholar, and, but I also had a motive in this. Why did I use a simple language? There was a motive, and the motive was that I wanted to reach out to youth. I know, being a teacher, I know that youth doesn't have patience for big tomes, big books, or big words, language. I was not writing a piece of literature where I needed to have big, nice sentences and all that. I didn't want the reader to get lost in the maze of words. I wanted them to understand what I am trying to say. And that is why I have used very simple narrative, so that whoever reads it will continue to read it and will not put it down by saying, "Bapre, ye kya, itna bada words and itne bade," and you lose interest. I didn't want my readers to, lose interest. That is why I wanted and I've used simple narrative so that they continue reading and identifying without putting the book down.
May I say something? Doctor, I started reading it on a Sunday morning after I closed the kitchen at 11 o'clock. And by night it was over. It is unputdownable. And one more thing, the language is so simple that I read it out to my granddaughter every night. She'll say, "Okay, now read, tell me what Sheila told Kamla. Did they become friends or not? Are they doing this? So she also loves it.
How old is your granddaughter?
She's 7 years old.
7 years?
But she loves it. That is the simplicity which they like. So it is going to strike a chord with you. Definitely. She loves it.
Yeah, and why, Sushi, why do I want to reach out to youth? I want to reach out to youth, especially the Sindhi youth who do not know anything about their heritage. They do not know about what their grandparents went through. And after I've written, there are many youth who have read and they have told me that, ma'am, we wish we had listened to our grandparents when they were talking to us about, their experiences. But we were so impatient with their, digressing and continuous talk that we would just leave and go away. But your book has opened our eyes, and now we feel that we should have heard our grandparents when they were talking about Sindh and their heritage.
Yeah, Doctor, I think your book opens up that sense of pride of being a Sindhi, the culture and whatever. The thing is, there's a remarkable thing about your book. I was just reading the scene earlier where this man is killed in the shop, in the store. Bhuvan is killed, and then Lakshman talks about it, and then then Sheila says, what happened to his body and what about his rights? Were they done properly? And he says, Mustafa Sahib, called up a Brahmin Pandit and conducted the cremation, and it's Salim who immersed the ashes in the Indus. Now, with that, that approach in the book, you made it, so typical Sindh. If all the youngsters you may not know, Sindh was probably the only state in the world where Hindus and Muslims, Hindis got along very well. Even today, and they have a terrific rapport, there's that bond, and that's precisely what you brought out in this book, and it's so natural. It's amazing how, there's so much more to know on Dr. Subhadranath. Tell us more about it, please.
No, this is what I have opened with, friendship between a Hindu family and a Muslim family. And that they were both very well off, and they both lived in uptown Clifton area in Karachi, which was like Beverly Hills, where, or like Malabar Hill, Pali Hill, where only the top class of people lived. But there was so much of understanding between them that they were family friends, and they were for each other all the time. The friendship was very, very strong because the culture was the same. Though their religion was different, but the culture was the same. It was the Sufi culture which taught both the communities to love. And that is where was the bond, and that is why is this gate that I have shown you, the unicorn gate. This gate is 2 bungalows are there, but gate is one only. Why the gate was one? Because only one gate needed.
This is the unicorn gate. And 2
So-
bungalows with 1 gate. So you think this speaks of harmony.
And I am just trying to bring about the friendship between the two who were, all the time for each other. But Sushil, this has come from a real thing. When I was doing, I'll give you an incident. This is not an imagination, it's the real thing. Because, and all the incidents also that I have written, what they have read are real incidents. That's not imagination. But this friendship is also a real friendship. When I was interviewing in Ulhasnagar, there was one person who said, we were in Karachi, very good friends with our neighbors, and our houses were next to each other. In fact, we had a common wall of the kitchen. On one side was their kitchen, on another side was our kitchen, and we had made a big window, so that food from our house could go to their house and their house could come to our house. And he said it was this family which saved us because of our deep friendship. So that stuck to me, and I kind of gave it a twist and made it in this friendship.
One could say, Albert Camus, the famous playwright and writer, has said somewhere, the purpose of a writer is to keep the civilization from being destroyed. That's the reason why I'm saying it. There was a time that we Sindhis felt that our culture and the languages was almost on the way of fading out, extinction. But the kind of book you written, the kind of effort HSNC, BTDC is putting in, there are a lot of awareness among Sindhis. that's not coming. That way. So this book, this Koki, should go a long way in instilling that confidence among the readers, especially you. Because I should, Dr. Banani, you must please make this book a part of our curriculum, education curriculum. So this is it's a milestone book. It's a landmark book. Because you have not only portrayed sin as it was, the harmony between communities, religions, and a great kind of bonding. When the opening line that I read was as Jal Durga, the steamship, leaves the shore, the Advani family looks at the home, the roots, and the land, and being snatched away from there. That feeling, and then the way you portray the whole thing is amazing. Tell me, the judge there, Purushottam Gidwani, your father was a judge. How do you relate to it?
That was my father. Purushottam Gidwani's story is my father's, but not the end was not there. My father was a judge in Karachi. He was a sessions judge. And he was a very upright judge who was fearless. And he gave lot of judgments. And when a judge gives a judgment, then he doesn't, he has to look at the facts. Many judgments were gone against people. And that is where they were also, nurturing animosity. And during partition, there was no law and order. So this was the time they decided to take revenge on my father. I told you about these two Pathans. Those are reality. These two Pathans were very, very indebted to my father and were solidly behind him as far as security is concerned. They knew that a plot is being hatched to kill my father because he had given a wrong judgment. They cautioned my father, and fortunately my father listened to them. In my narrative I said that he did not listen to them. But my father listened to them. He came home and immediately he sent all of us on Jal Durga to come away, and he under tight security boarded the next ship and came. So that is the thing, but the narrative of this, and also the narrative of the, the Brahmin priest, that's also real. My Bua's husband, he was in Sadat Court, not in Larkana. In Sadat Court there was this temple, he was the caretaker. He was not killed during partition, he was killed when Babari Masjid fell. So I have linked both because when the partition took place, he decided to stay back in Sadat. He stayed back. So my Bua also stayed back with two sons. Half the family over here and half the family over here. But he was so devoted to Shiva that he said, "Nahi, kuch bhi nahi hoega." During partition, people protected him. But when the Babari Masjid took place, and again there was an order, outsiders came, and then he was killed. But I put it in the partition narrative.
Dr. Vishkins, up to 1992, he stayed there?
He stayed there. Yeah. Veena Shringi's father. Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah.
Tell me, doctor, coming back to Jhulelal Tirtha, like those of you who are not aware of this, we have heard of Mecca, we have heard of Amritsar Golden Temple, we have heard of Kashi, okay, we have heard of Vatican City, which are the cultural center points for ministry. Now, Jhulelal Tirtha, as you mentioned in your epilogue in 1995 publication, the National University of Sindhi, that she visualized of a Sindhi cultural center in 95 in a book. She mentions in an epilogue there. Now it's actually happened. It's in Kutch, Narayan Sarovar. Jhulelal Tirtha, a huge, beautifully built, it's going to be our Sindhi cultural center like Amritsar's Golden Temple and Vatican City and Mecca and Kashi. Now that's precisely, Bhatha and I and Shobha, we always talk about it. That do we have leaders? We have this question in our mind, doctor. we have leaders. But in you, Dr. Anand, the way you visualize it in 95 and that thing is there now, it's tangible, it's all there, the cultural center, it's mark of leader. So we do have a leader. I hope we have many more like this and I hope things work out the way we visualize them. But how did that happen? Because it's not easy to get the cultural center at that massive level as it's carried out. How did it work out?
You know, I'm a great follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and I always believed in what Mahatma Gandhi said, find purpose, means will follow. So my purpose was, in my thesis, I had written in my national integration of thesis that Sindhis are scattered all over. And because they are scattered all over and with their tendency of adaptation, they first started adapting, then they started assimilating, and now there was danger of Sindhis being absorbed completely and their identity going away. So that is when I saw and I did a little bit of research on how scattered communities can stay together. And scattered communities, Muslims are scattered all over, but under what banner are they all together? Makkah, Medina. That is what is the holding power. Sikhs are all over, but what holds them is Golden Temple. You have also, the Jews, they come to Jerusalem. So what is it that Sindhis who are scattered can come together under what? And that's when I said that the only Ishtadev of Sindhi, see, Sindhis are also worshipping Guru Nanak. Sindhis are also worshipping Ganpati, Durga, everywhere, because they were, wherever conscious state may ho, you imbibe that. But Sindhi identity was being completely destroyed. One incident I will tell you which left a mark, Sushil, on me, and that gave birth to Jhulelal Tirtha. This incident was, I was a lecturer of history. I was taking a class when one student of mine by the name of Ajay, he came to me and he said, ma'am, I want to ask you one question. I hope you won't get angry. I said, no, Ajay, I never get angry with the students. And in fact, the more questions the students ask, I feel very good about it. So he brought about a question which unnerved me, shook me completely. He said, madam, आप लोगों का अपना कोई गॉड नहीं है क्या? क्योंकि यहाँ पे बॉम्बे में सिंधी लोग गणपति को ला रहे हैं घर में, और गणपति को लाके कैसे गणपति की पूजा करनी चाहिए वो तो उनको पता ही नहीं है. वो बॉलीवुड का म्यूजिक लगा के डांस करके ये करके उसका हंगामा करते हैं. ऐसे थोड़ी ना है ये. तो आप लोगों का कोई भगवान नहीं है क्या? कोई आइडेंटिटी, कोई इष्टदेव नहीं है क्या? Teachers being teachers, we know how to लपेटो students. कुछ ना कुछ करके हम लोग कन्विंस कर देते हैं, लपेटते हैं, बड़े-बड़े लेक्चर देते हैं. We are very smart teachers like that. So मैंने उसको बोला, नहीं बाबा, what are you saying? Sindhis, in fact, you must admire. वो सब जगह जहाँ पे हैं, they vibe and all that. और बड़ा अच्छा से मैंने मोनोलॉग बोला. But I knew Sushil was not convinced. उसके फेस में से लगा ये मैम ऐसे मेरे को घुमा रही है. He was not convinced. And that is when I said कि हमारा एक होना चाहिए on the grounds of the Golden Temple, a big cultural center where under the banner of Jhulelal. Jhulelal is identified with Sindhis. Jhulelal is not identified with anyone else. He is the Ishtdev of Sindhis, and that is where I advocated a huge cultural center called Jhulelal Tirthdham. And like I said, I dreamt and it was. Sindhis came forward. At that time, Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. I remember very boldly, I took an appointment from his secretary, and few of us Sindhis, we went over there and we proposed this idea. He had given us a window of 15 minutes, but he gave us 1 hour. And he told his secretary, कि इनको जो land चाहिए इनको दे दो. And that is how we got 73 acres of land in Narayan Sarovar for Jhulelal Tirthdham. That's how the journey began.
Talking of that Jhulelal Tirthdham, we call Ajay.
Ajay. Yeah, I must take Ajay over there now. Yeah, I'm in touch with him and he knows now about Jhulelal Tirthdham. I told him, Ajay, तुम्हारी वजह से झूलेलाल तीर्थधाम है. I'm in touch with him.
And may I share with all the audience about how many Bollywood fans you have? All your students are from Bollywood. Vikramaditya Motwani, Sunil Shetty, Rajat Kapoor, who else? Rakesh Bedi.
झूलेलाल तीर्थधाम के साथ. No, you know, students always remember you. They remember if the teacher cares for them, if the teacher loves them. That's when the students remember. In my dictionary, there is no such thing as punishment. I don't believe in punishing. I don't believe in, in any case, we are going off the track. So let's just...
You see, there's a track here. I have a question to ask you. Maybe it's personal, but I'm sure you will want. Subhadra Anand, the historian. Subhadra Anand, an educationist. Subhadra Anand, a visionary. Subhadra Anand, an author. What is she exactly? All combined?
What does she exactly say?
There's so many things.
I exactly is a human being with a heart, which knows only to love. I don't believe in any ounce of hatred or revenge or anything. This is what I am. A person who anybody can come to me for any kind of help and I am always ready.
This book, Tyrst with Koki, is practically a screenplay. But how the favorite thing was,
Yes.
she's also a writer.
I feel when I read it, I feel I'm there. Even now I got goosebumps reading it.
Like I was narrating the story, we read a chapter, right, where she offers Koki to Mohan Nagpal for his father. And the description is Sheila held Gunichan's hand and placed the Koki on his hand. Gunichan looks in wonder at the Koki. There is Sheila. There's a flicker of recognition. And a faint smile crosses his face. And whatever. If I will talk in screenplay language, the film language, all those sentences are separate shots to be pictured in one scene. So it's amazing. I mean, the kind of you are written such a visual, language. There's so much of there's everything right there. When your words describe it, the picture stands right before you in front of your eyes. So, how did that happen? I mean, I understand you believe in simple language. You write in the heart. But not everybody writing the heart brings such a visual so strongly, so upright. What's that about Dr. Anand?
You tell me.
I really don't know.
It's fiction with facts.
Yeah, it's fiction with facts.
As a writer, as a filmmaker, I can tell you that this is an exceptionally great art and craft and understanding of a language. See, there's no effort. I mean, when I was reading this book, I read it twice, Doctor. It's a simple storytelling. It's great narrative. It hits you very hard, because you don't get into the jargon. You don't get into finding great words, difficult words. And since it's from the heart, And you probably, while writing, you've probably seen that scene. You visualize it.
I visualize.
And since you visualize it, it's there in the words, and therefore it's all screenplay. It's all scenes, isn't it? What do you think? I mean, it's amazing.
Yes, visualize. I visualize whatever I am writing.
Yeah, because that's precisely why I mentioned Andre Agassi's open autobiography and Devanand's romancing in life. They are doing the same thing. Of course, there were many other writers, but they were exceptionally cruel because you read the entire autobiography of Banco, like I did yours twice. I had to understand what was going on. So amazing. Now, one question. We talked about Gulizar Kiran. It's just 50 kilometers from Karachi, or 50 miles from Karachi. Just across. It's at the mouth of the Arabian Sea. Did it happen just like that, or was it planned?
No, that was planned. That was planned because I needed to have a location which has got Sindhi ethos. And Kutch has got Sindhi ethos. Kutchi language and Sindhi language are identical. In fact, the census brackets the Sindhis and Kutchis together. And ancient trade has always been between Sindh and Kutch. Kori Creek, which is a tributary of Indus, is flowing over there. Trade was taking place. You know, Lakhpat was a big fort where the trade was taking place. Plus, Gandhidham and Adipur in Kutch are Sindhi settlements which were given to Sindhis after partition. So Kutch already has lot of music is Sindhi music. Embroidery is Sindhi music. So Kutch and Sindh are very identical. Even as far as weather is concerned, Sindh was desert, Kutch is desert. So that is where, and the sea is also a common thing. We needed something which is close to the sea because Jhulelal cannot be in Ulasnagar, though Jhulelal temple can be anywhere. But a Tiradham has to be on the water, banks of a river or a sea. So that is where it had all the ingredients. And that's how we were able to identify that land. Madhav Joshi, I would give him big credit, a Kutchi scholar who I had presented a paper on this at Institute of Sindhology, and he came to me, old man, he held my hand and he said, tomorrow I will take you to the land that you are seeking. It was literally like, you know how Moses was told, I'll give you a land and the land you are seeking. He literally held my hand. I had a flight the same evening. I cancelled it the next morning. He took me to this land and I saw it and I fell in love with it. And I said, this is where my dream project, Jhulelal Tyrst
To take it, extend it further, this great rationale. A lot of us, Sindhis, and I certainly feel about it, that someday soon, it's an extension of your thought, Jhulelal Tyrst, we visualize in 95, it's happening. And a lot of us believe that there would also be a state of sin in India. How would you, what would you say to that?
I don't know, Sushil, I like to keep away from politics.
So this is not politics.
No, this is going to be politics because we know that Manipur mein bhi kya ho raha hai. Everybody now suddenly, you ask for piece of a land and then you ask for piece of land. It leads to lot of acrimony. Because that piece of land is going to come from a state which is already there. So I don't want to get into all that because then Sindhis will be displayed, in a very bad light. What we are proud of Sindhis is that we left our land and we made the whole world our land. And that's what we are proud of. We made the whole, I went to Alaska. The first shop I saw in Alaska was that of a Sindhi. As we boarded from the, Alaska cruise I had gone for, and we went and the Sindhi gentleman comes out, and of course he speaks in polished English that come look at my, and he was, selling what? ठंडी थी ना तो वो अच्छे jackets, sweaters and all that. And then I looked at him. I said, "Kahin Sindhi aayo?" Started laughing. Said, "Haan." So Indira Gandhi has written that Iceland she went to and she met a Sindhi shopkeeper. So Sindhis are everywhere. So let us be happy because we are welcomed everywhere, we are respected everywhere because we learn the language and culture. Let us be there pluralistic. That plus our Jhulelal Teeth Dham is there where our identity is being nurtured. So I would not really get into the political thing of getting a state. It will be messy and we will spoil whatever name these Sindhis have earned.
Fair, that's fair. Now, two more questions before, of course, we go to the question answers here. Your book is actually a great source for a film.
Okay.
So I visualize somebody making a film very soon on your book. Hopefully some very big banner with a lot of big star cast. You just can't be, you can't miss it. You can't miss this book for making a great film. Because it's all about, it's about a culture, it's about relations, it's about human relations, it's about inter-religious harmony, it's all about it. So a film needs to be made on it, hopefully it should be made soon. And somebody should approach it soon enough. And going back sharp to the deep, the 7 units of Satya Sulmi. I'd like to conclude this and something to ask you. There were 7 units of sharp to the deep, the greatest Sindhi poet, who's compared to Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. In modern day, in 2023, in this era, you are one of our heroes. Right? You have created Jhulelal Teeth Dham and have come up with such a great book called Koki. Proud of you, very, very honored to have spoken to you. You are a great person, you are an extraordinary person. As I said, a lot of people come and get fame. No, fame, 5-minute fame, 5-year fame, go on. There are people who work and that work stays, and their fame and popularity and their name stays. You belong to that category of great people who will leave their mark forever among you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Doctor, I have a question on a lighter side. Do you love Koki?
Oh my God, I love Koki.
Who makes the Koki in your house?
No, I'll tell you, I have been brought up on Koki because when I was young, we used to have breakfast. Koki used to be there and dahi used to be there, and during Aam season, the Langda Aam or Chausa Aam, that is how we would, and every day it was. Think of a breakfast without Koki. So now question is, does anybody make Koki? No, I can't make Koki.
My mother used to make the dough and give us, okay, now you want to roast on slow flame.
Yeah.
And making the dough, there's a trick which I have learned over the years.
Yeah. No, I'll confess, I can't make Koki, but I still love to eat Koki. I can't make it. I can make it, but it comes as 30 over 100. That's the marks I would give.
I'm sure many of you have some or the other question in your mind related to the book or the author or the conversation that just happened. You're free. If the mic is here, you can ask. Quick questions before I ask ma'am to give the impression.
As we know, Indian English writing has been gaining a lot of popularity globally. And since with this book that is basically on Sindhis, I think now you have paved the ways for Sindhis in the genre of Indian English writing. So how do you visualize it? How do you see it? Like there have been very few, or I would say rather no works on Sindhis in Indian English writing. Sindhis have mostly been writing in Sindhi and Devanagari. So with you, we have like it can be said as a pioneering work in the field of Indian English literature that talks about Sindhis, that has a Sindhi theme, talks about Sindhi people. So how do you see
Something to do with Sindhi and in English so that it reaches out to everybody. And my biggest desire is to have Tryst with Koki translated in Sindhi.
Dr. Anand Sushilji has written an English book waiting to get it published. Yes, it's wonderful. Yes, refugees. It's called Refugees.
Oh, very good.
You're waiting for it. Yes, I've read some of the stories. They're wonderful.
Oh, okay. So,
I have one more question. So what basically made you to write it in English rather than Sindhi?
I can't write Sindhi. I can speak Sindhi, but English is my strength. And I said this is the way I can reach out to maximum people. Because if I write in Sindhi, the readership is very limited, but yes, there has to be, the book needs to be translated and a piece of information in Sindhi also.
I'll do it in Sindhi and Shobha do it in Hindi.
Okay, so here it is. It's being translated. It will be translated in Hindi as well as in Sindhi.
Can I take the extension of this? The answer to your question is why Dr. Sumatra Anand wrote in English. Of course, she gave the reason. The reason why we should have more writing in English is, of course, Sindhi should continue. Because I think that this book, just with Koki, must reach out to non-Sindhis. It cannot be limited to just Sindhi readers. It's the kind of book it should be read by the Americans, Britishers, the Indians, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi, whoever. Because that's the kind of book it is. Our vision, her vision is global, if you see. And Sindhis basically think global. So that would come only through this kind of writing, the English writing about Sindhi. I think this is a wonderful thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, you suggested that Sindhi writers must write more about Sindhi culture and Sindhi people, in that a lot of, we can say, scope is there. Bombay Teachers Training College has organized a 2-day national conference on implementation of NEP 2020.
Implementation of?
National Policy of Education 2020, which advocates promotion of languages, Indian languages.
I know that.
So, we are inviting papers for how to promote Sindhi culture and Sindhi language. So,
Very nice.
writers can start thinking, and they can send their papers maybe with 1,500 words to 3,000. They can start from this, and then those 1,500 and 3,000 words can be extended to a book. So I invite all the students, Sindhis, non-Sindhis, to write papers and present in any of the language which you like the most. So just do the review of literature. The whole internet is there in front of you. Please explore, read, understand, and write in a language which you love the most. Even if you present the paper in Urdu, will be accepted and will be published with ISBN number. So I invite all the members, my teachers and would-be teachers, to do a lot of review. And I will also request my colleagues, my faculty members, to popularize this conference so that our students can present the papers, especially the Sindhi ones. We will make them compulsory for them, all Sindhi students, for A4 and SY. MA students we got 13 MA students who are, we have made it compulsory for MA students to write Sindhi papers and present. And I will also expect non-Sindhi students, and there will be a special prize for them if they write research papers, review papers on this topic. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Just a question. What next, Dr. Sumatra, after this book? Or is it's a matter of inspiration?
The next book I am already writing, but that is different. That's got a different theme altogether, because I wanted to change the track. And my next theme is, after I retired from National College, I became the CEO of this wonderful NGO called Save the Children India. In there we did lot of work on child trafficking. So my next book is on the trafficking part of how innocent people, and I have kind of linked it with, the dacoits of Madhya Pradesh, how they laid down their arms when, Prakash Narayan told them, and the two wives, how they are joining in this movement. So it's basically my experience in Save the Children India, which I am putting in this book. And this book is called In the Ravine. So in the ravine is ravine of the dacoits and ravine of children who have been trafficked and are trapped in very unfortunate circumstances. And how the dacoits' wives become saviors of all this. That is the thing.
Amazing, amazing. But Dr. Subhadra Anand continues to be versatile, as we all know, visionary and versatile. Thank you very much, Doctor. And it's an honor that you give us this time to talk to us.
My honor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
One thing that I really like and appreciate, ma'am, is the fact that being a historian, you combine history along with something that you want to tell people, and it comes out to be so well. I haven't studied history, but then I really enjoy the way that all these narratives, like how you said, I'm from MP, very close to the Chambal area, so I'm sure I will have something to, get from my childhood, because that was the time that they were there, that the poets were there. And even passing in a train from those areas was a little difficult thing, and we were kind of scared by our parents. So, okay, no, you have to sit quietly, those kind of days. So I really appreciate that the history part of it
is also going to be a very powerful theme,
yes,
because the dacoits, they laid down their arms. They were imprisoned. They laid down their arms. What happens to their women? So there are also the women, 2, 3 who are there, how they join up with, it's a big narrative. But basically it's those who exploited now become saviors. That is what it is.
and my last.
There's one thing, sorry. Again, as a filmmaker, Dr. Anand has this great sense for creating a major canvas for a filmmaker. It's like, you're going to have big canvas, the sin and migration, the shape, now the ravines, and so it's a great challenge for filmmakers and a lot of budgets required. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Anyway, my imagination, it is.
My question was related to that. Has anybody, as of today, approached for the book, for the movie, which is Koki with a different name, and would Dr. Anand be featuring in that?
No. Dr. Anand cannot feature in it. But, Ashutosh Gavarikar is a good friend of mine. And in Jodha Akbar, I had assisted him in the research and all that. And my name comes prominently. So special thanks to Dr. Subhadra Anand, Principal of National College. So that Ashutosh already has made my name immortal in Jodha Akbar. Ashutosh has given me a review of this book. If you read the book, then Ashutosh Gawarikar's name. And Ashutosh has said that he was, but the point is, he said, Dr. Anand, can you wait 5 years? Because he is busy with 2 films and he cannot pull himself out. I said, Ashutosh, kisne 5 saal dekhe yaar? Let's just be happy with whatever it is. So that's how it is.
Maybe versions are there for every book. So maybe if somebody makes a version now, maybe 5 years later, Ashutosh makes another
Ashutosh
version.
said one thing, and he said, ma'am, I am very sure somebody or the other will pick up this. Let it be out in the market.
So if you go back to history of cinema, where books are adapted to cinema, like I take the basic example of R.K. Narayan's guide, which was made into an English film guide, and then it was made into the immortal classic called Hindi guide. So, I mean, there were two versions of the same film. You know, the English guide and then, so it's quite possible. And at the end of all of this, let me also, that's very unlikely, but I like to say it, because yeah, this book, this would Koki has to be made by somebody who is passionate about it. It's not just being a top director. You need to have the passion to understand what you say, and then that not in there. Wait for it. Let's wait and watch. Thank you.
Dr. Naidu, with your permission, just for 1 minute, ma'am, I would just, some words of appreciation. Like you made us travel from partition before that, and the journey which you traveled with your grandparents. What we have learned living in these colleges is, I would say, tremendous Sindhi community contribution for the education of India. The best colleges in Mumbai, and see the number of students they are getting passed out. So there is a beautiful book on HSMC board which is written 70 years of legacy, which I am going to bring that book in the afternoon here in the class. Students are definitely going to read that. They will go through, and that's what also needs to be appreciated. And today I think they must have got some tips. What is to be retained from that community? Because if by choice they have come to this college, which is Sindhi Minority College, and what should be their contribution as non-Sindhi community to be promoting, retaining, and then feeling pride about it that we are a student of Sindhi Minority College. That is
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am.
That is where the shades of colors of Sindhis.
Yes.
You know, you see all that and this thing. You know what, he said, Sushil said that when I was the principal of National College, I made a film. I didn't make, but I told some people, and to make a film, means together we made a film on our founder K.M. Kundani. It's a dramatization. We have got actors, one or two very known actors, and it's beautifully done because it is the life of K.M. Kundani. How he brought National College from Hyderabad, Sindh to Bombay, and from there 22 other colleges. So Mr. Thot, I can share this thing with you. In fact, you can show it to these students.
Yes, ma'am. We have that book in our library also,
No,
and then
film.
movie also is, yes.
You have?
Ma'am, it was presented in the board, and only few students got the privilege of watching that movie.
But
So,
if you have
yes.
it, then you show it to them.
We do not have the soft copy.
Okay, you do not have the software.
You don't have?
National PNL has the movie.
Huh?
You can borrow it from National.
National College.
National College doesn't have, they have lost everything.
Really?
Fortunately, it's my copy that I have kept.
But it's not on YouTube.
No, it's not. In fact, I need to put it on YouTube. I don't know how to do it.
Because
Maybe
last
you can
time
do
I
it.
attended one of the functions, I think Dinesh had projected that. Dinesh probably must be having it. Because I had seen it. It must be about this 4-5 years now.
I don't know, but I
will
can.
ask Dinesh, maybe he-
But I have a copy, no? I can give it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only to maybe Barkha or to Sushil, because that's the only one I have got. And I would say all of you have to see that film to know what a great man our founder was, and you owe a lot to him. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And I would say, Sushil sir, please do not keep waiting that only Sindhi will make a Sindhi movie. Any non-Sindhi also can be making with lot of conviction. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your.
No, doctor, I didn't mean that. I didn't imply that. What I meant was.
No, when they study in the colleges, they owe to the colleges. So when they come up, they must come up with that conviction that they will be making a good Sindhi movie because they owe to the institution. That's what I mean to say.
Absolutely, I agree with you. It's just that what I meant was anybody who has a passion for Sindhi. You see, I'll tell you what. Let me share this with you, doctor. It's a very great thing. The feature film that we have made, Shobha, Bakka and I made a feature film, The Last Train, Akhri Train. I think some of us have, it's been shown. The editor of this film is a Marathi editor, Dinesh Megde. And after he started editing the film, see, films are also made on the editing table. Whatever you shoot. And this man, he's made Marathi films, he's from Marathi background, he understands. He's contributed about almost everything to the film. So I didn't mean that a Sindhi speaking guy should make a Sindhi film. What I meant was somebody was understanding and empathy for the subject.
But I mean it.
So
I
do I.
mean what I said it. Any non-Sindhi can be doing the same work with conviction of.
Precisely. That's you and I are talking the same thing, probably in different language. All right. See, Tyrst with Koki is an extraordinary book, frankly, because she started reading in the morning. By the evening, she had completed reading. I read it twice in 3 days. Why? It has to be engrossing. It has to say something concrete for me to read it, right? So I agree with you. All I meant was have passion for, like when I make a Marathi film, I understand that culture. My hometown is Kolhapur. I understand Marathi very well. I understand that culture. I know what is Kandapur. I know what is Pandra and Tamda Rasa. I know all this. I know what is Mahalakshmi temple. But same thing applies to Tyrst with Koki. That's all I mean. So I agree with you. You are on the same page.
Let's see who makes the movie
Yes.
first. And the second version of it and the third version I
1 minute. Don't forget, my dear, that it was the Sindhi filmmaker Ramesh Sippy who made Bunyad.
Yes, actually.
Partition story of the Punjabis and not of the Sindhis.
Yes.
And Govind Nehlani, a Sindhi, has made Tamas. Again, partition story of the Punjabis and not of the Sindhis. I'm very cut up on that.
Perfect. This is precisely. This is precisely what I was trying to imply. I didn't want to come out open because I'll tell you what. Ramesh is the top director.
We can have these discussions.
In Tamas, in all that, there was no Sindhi, there was not a Sindhi refugee at all. Why? That means you're not proud of being a Sindhi. And that's precisely where I say, look, you need to feel for that. It's empathy. I'm not saying sympathy. You must feel for the language. These guys don't. And that's their bad luck.
So I am endorsing that feeling themselves because they are being in this
No,
institution.
they don't. अच्छा, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति पे? Ramesh Sippy was with Hema Malini, and Amitabh asked him, Jhulelal is the avatar of which god? Now, Hema Malini told Ramesh Sippy, ये तो आना चाहिए ना आपको, आपका सिंधी लोगों का है. And Ramesh Sippy did not know.
There you are.
So there it is. Then he felt very bad that he did not, because she accused him. She said, ये तो आपको आना चाहिए, ये तो आपका सिंधी है. But he didn't know that.
I'm sure, I'm very happy that Dr. Anand is saying exactly what I have in my mind. Because you can't, listen, if you're a Marathi and you don't know what is Mahalakshmi temple, you don't know X and Y, then how the hell are you a Marathi? Or any culture for that matter. Like Punjabis, they've made Punjabi an international language, doctor. It's international now. All the songs, whatever you like. And Ramesh Sippy and Rashmi Rani, they are members of the called Sindhis. That's a fact of life, I know it. That's why I made somebody who understands Sindhi and feels empathy for it or passion for it should make Tyrst with Koki. That's all I say. And I stand by that commit. Because she feels the same thing. Tell me a director, such a big director, doesn't know what the avatar is of Jhulelal. That speaks volumes. Thank you. I rest my case.
Let me request.
More so because I think there was a part of Punjab which was existing there, so they could correlate and still people, they literally lost lost the entire state, not only their identity, they lost everything. And then to establish themselves, it's very difficult, whichever part you go. And that's one of the reasons where they realize the value of time, the value of their efforts, and they have flourished all over the world. You know, not only in field of education, but in the field of even philanthropy, in like medicals and everything. You see a number of hospitals that they have made anywhere.
These discussions are definitely going to extend in your room over lunch, and we are going to deliberate more on that. Let me invite Dr. Anand once your last remarks for these upcoming teachers. What would you tell them as an author, as a person?
As a
who's been
teacher, I
as a
can
teacher?
feel the pulse of the crowd. A crowd thak gaya hai. They are hungry. They are tired.
Exactly.
So all I will say is, beta, bless you people. Look at yourself कि क्या तुमको करना है and follow it up. Don't let your parents bully you in doing things that you don't want to do. Do what you want to do and world will be with you. Remember that. Don't give up. And only that only. Let's just...
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful piece of advice. I'm sure everybody resonates with this and घर जाके कोई मम्मी पापा से लड़ेगा नहीं मुझे क्यों बीएड करने पड़ेगा.
मेरे को मम्मी पापा पे हमेशा गुस्सा आता है. Not that I have, as a mother, I have let my children do, because ये bullying of parents is the worst thing. I want to do because I am like this, you must do like this. अपना रास्ता खुद बनाओ.
Ma'am, the books are available.
Yes,
Dr.
I've been watching them and I feel like just grabbing one for tonight.
Okay. You know, I just want to take 2 minutes of you. I have a very important announcement to make. And that is that, you know, in Delhi, there is a museum, Partition Museum coming up. And in the Partition Museum, I and my daughter, we are doing the Sindhi gallery over there in the Partition Museum. Now my daughter and my son-in-law are very big international artists, and they are doing something which is very unique, and that is that they are trying to trace the diaspora of Sindhis. So from Ulhasnagar to wherever they have gone. So if you people know of anyone, especially all of you, of somebody who from Sindh came to Ulhasnagar, few years lived in Ulhasnagar, from Ulhasnagar, the base was Ulhasnagar, from Ulhasnagar has left Ulhasnagar and come to Bombay, or to anywhere else, or to Spain, or to Italy, or wherever, Hong Kong, Bangkok, please let us know. We would like to interview them because we are making a huge panel where origin is from Ulhasnagar. How many people went to Spain? How many people came to Bombay? How many? This is what we are tracking now. So it has to be Ulhasnagar because case study is on Ulhasnagar. Ulhasnagar is fascinating place. Only military camp which became a township of traders. And Ulhasnagar is synonymous with Sindhi identity. So only those, and my research scholar is there. She is doing her PhD from IIT Indore, but she's taken a break to help us in this. You know, this study, she will be living now, going to Ulhasnagar and staying over there. So if you know of anyone, any of your relatives or anyone who started their life in Ulhasnagar but went away, please let us know. She will be there and you can, you know, meet people and discuss it. Because this is a very, very important, you know, for Sindhi gallery that we are doing. अमृतसर में तो सिंधी गैलरी, अमृतसर पार्टीशन म्यूजियम में सिंधी गैलरी was just a small room, nothing much, considering how Sindhis have suffered. सारा पंजाब पंजाब पंजाब, but I guess it is अमृतसर, so it has to be there. But हम लोग सिंध में, ये दिल्ली में दारा शिकोह लाइब्रेरी यूनिवर्सिटी में we are having this Sindhi gallery, and this is the theme. उल्लासनगर से कहाँ गए हैं सिंधी as a their story.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for even apprising all of us about this. This morning has been a blessed one. This morning has been so much different from the other mornings where we have had a book launch. And here, ma'am, this was just not a regular book launch. I'm sure all our students have learned, and they are taking so much from you today, especially from you. They've learned new things about digital filmmaking, converting a book into a movie, and what is the significance and the importance of doing this. So much so that I'm sure some of the other students out of these will make, if not feature films, at least small films of 5 minutes or maybe lesser. With Sushil sir's help. This was a session in the 3-day filmmaking workshop that Gajwani sir is having in our college. This was a sponsored event by NCPSL, and I'm sure the 3rd day of this workshop is also going to be amazing, with a lot of activity, hands-on work done by all our students, the participating students. These are all teachers, ma'am. So the films that they are going to make will definitely be of certain value. And if they are worth that, we will definitely upload these on our YouTube channel. We'll pass on the links to all of you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here this morning. Thank you, sir, in first place, for visualizing this entire event and having it here for all of us.
At the end, I would like to thank you, sir, Dr. Balani, Sushil, Barkha, Shobha, and all of you for giving us a patient hearing. And also, I'm very sorry that we started very late and we left 2 hours before, 1.5 hours from Bandra, but we took 2.5 hours coming over here because of the traffic situation. So my apologies to you. And I'd like to thank everyone who has taken the pains to organize such a beautiful function under the leadership of your very dynamic principal, Dr. Balani.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Sushil sir. Thank you, Barkha ma'am. Thank you, Mrs. Gandhi, Mrs. Sachdev. Thank you, Shobha ma'am. We always find Barkha ma'am and Shobha ma'am amidst us whenever we have any events. Thank you so much for this morning also. And thank you, Balani sir, for organizing this for all of us. Thank you so much, dear faculty members, for being here this morning. And thank you, very dear supportive students, for being such a wonderful audience. Sabko bhook lagi hai, let's break for lunch. This is, yeah. These books are available, sir will have them in the library.
Buy the books here. I'll sign a personal copy for you.
Sir, how many books will you take? Ma'am will sign that many number of copies personally. Okay. Okay.
So faculty
So,
over here for the picture.
all the faculty members, please join us for a group photo. The timings for the next few hours in college will be announced by Dr.
Thank you, Vidya ma'am. For BA students, after this event, there will be a lunch till 2:15, and from 2:15 onwards, you will have your lesson guidance. And continue with the remaining activities, whatever is left after lesson guidance. Thank you. चलेगा कभी अभी हैंडल कर देना भाई. खींचेगा किससे? खींचने को उनका फोन है ना कॉलेज का. यही तो है, मेरा थोड़ी है. कॉलेज का फोन ले लो. जियो टैग
अरे उसमें नहीं जियो टैग है मेरे पास।
ये लाइव चल रहा है।
ये बंद कर, हाँ बस ये बंद करना इसको।